Pluto is back in Aquarius for the next 19 years, and we're going to find out what it means for all 12 signs. And I'm answering all your personal questions with live readings coming up right now.
Does it look like a Devin or David?
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table. No, you like there's something in your end table that you this too.
My God, you're crazy, girl.
Yeah, he's saying hi, baby girl. He's saying hi, baby girl. And is there significance with like image of a rose at all?
He would
Does that make
always
sense?
give me a rose.
Okay, so he's like doing one now. He's saying to work with some sort of like vibrational machine. Somehow a way to work with like machinery and vibration.
I work with horses, and there's actually some magnawave therapy that's vibrational.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
So he doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Allow yourself to hear yourself. Allow yourself to feel yourself. Allow yourself to talk to yourself. Allow yourself to respond to yourself. That's looking within.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
There's a reason why we're on this timeline. There's a reason why we've chosen to be in this awakening. I say we're going through a spiritual awakening.
So I don't just come on here and talk bullshit and repeat. I'm living this stuff.
In harmony with nature, in a mystical adventure, we're building on a culture.
Happy Thursday night, everybody. Welcome to the Cruisyverse. How is y'all feeling now that we're in Sagittarius season and Pluto's now back in Aquarius? So we got some major shifts going on and some shifts and shits. Hopefully you guys were watching this morning's episode of Leading Out Loud. I don't know how I feel about doing two shows in one day, but hopefully you guys are sticking around for both of them. Let's see who's in the room being Chatty Cathy. And today we're actually going to talk about, we're going to get into, I'll do like a brief synopsis of what is going to occur for each sign for the first, next year starting, Pluto and Aquarius, what that means for each sign. So I'll get into like a little micro readings for each of the signs. And then of course, Nina will have a nice message. We won't put her toward the end. Last week we forgot, but it actually was perfect that she was left toward the end, but we're going to get her in before we start the personal 101 readings. So again, if you want to get a personal reading in, it's $15 for a card pull, $20 for one question, $30 for two questions, and $40 for a live video with me right here. So, and I appreciate those who are vulnerable enough to come on a video, and it really helps other people to see your own journey and seeing how the guidance process works. So, if you have any questions, the PayPal and Venmo links are in the description below, and a wonderful mom, Nina, will help to assist you if you have any issues with that. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Let's give some shout outs to people in the room. I can only see who's Chatty Cathy. Grace Bergeron, good to see you. Welcome. Jennifer Cruz, my maker's in the room, in the house. Give Mrs. Cruz some love, some hands up. Brenna Zweck, hello. Noel Wade, good to see you. Lovely, beautiful. Benjamin Rappel, which we know is Sarah, good to see you here, and you're present, and your presence is a present for me. Isn't that interesting? And why is there music playing? Sorry about that. That was not supposed to be. Or maybe I should put that pensive music on while I'm announcing people. Maybe that was a good glitch. I don't know. We have, of course, wonderful Nina's in the room. We have Iggy, can't you see? And he says, 19 years. She got one of your Pluto kids, got you 19 years. Interesting. Like the Kanye West reference. So I do understand that. Allie Taylor, good to see you. Patty Snow, PB Gonecutter, good to see you. Patricia, Andrew Williams, great, awesome. Just finished watching a LOL recording from today. The boys were on fire. Yes, I have to give credit to Christopher because he was kind of being more spicy today. Usually I'm the spicy one, so he was being more spicy than I. Usually I'm pretty out there, so I had to make sure we were guiding that ship accordingly so it didn't completely sink. Tommy Garassi, good to see you. Hello. James Porterfield, good to see you as well. And I'm just going through. Chris Strickland, good to see you in the room too. Jen55 Alive, I like that. We just actually, it's funny your name is Jen555 Alive. Just before the live show started, I texted Nina 555. So very synchronous of you to be here in that case. Aquila Pan, good to see you. Kate, hello, gorgeous. How are you? Tara Vienna Cherry, hello. Daryl Breakup Ship, my brother, good to see you. You're hiding in the corner somewhere, but we see you. Just don't go back in that closet. Loving life, loving you. Good to see you. I love that picture, by the way. Kelly Stranka, hello. Linda. And Rana, good to see you. And anybody else, and Samantha, and Linda Jane, and all you all who are chatting, and those of you who are watching, I cannot see you because, of course, you're not chatting, so you have your privacy, thank God. So good, welcome aboard. And so usually what I do, I start with the collective reading, but my collective reading today is going to be for each of the 12 signs for Pluto and Aqua. What does this mean for 2025? How's that going to get you started? Okay, so I may pull some cards and understand I didn't prepare for this. I don't usually prepare for anything, actually. I just kind of channel whatever happens. And I always come up with a topic for my live show, and I just come on in and just talk. So that's why sometimes I could be a mess, stumbling in my words or just ranting, because it's all coming from a channeling space. I never know what I'm going to say. So these reads will be specifically on the spot, on the fly, okay? So let's see. So all you Aries, where the Aries at in the house? Aries, what does Pluto and Aquarius mean for Aries? Now, what I feel like for Aries is there might be a little bit of regret, starting. Let's turn down this music, actually. Let's start over in case I want to cut these down into micro segments. Aries. Okay, so Pluto moving into Aquarius, what does it mean for Aries? Well, to me, I feel like with Aries, there's going to be a lot of regret, I think, initially. Like, almost like, I don't think I've kind of given myself credit enough, or I don't really feel like I went after that relationship or that opportunity. But I think that regret is going to push you forward. I really think for Aries, there's going to be a lot of energy of, I'm really emphasizing the time for myself, and I'm really putting that back into accomplishing my goals and stepping out of the box, actually. So I think you're going to use that fire energy, not so much for other people, but now for you. And I think you're going to realize when you put that fiery energy back into your own mission and accomplishing your own personal goals, then it's going to really kind of help everybody else around you too. So I really feel a lot of Aries taking a lot of leadership roles, actually, in a balanced way, but a leadership role that really is where you feel like you're making a difference without trying this time. And so it's a good time for Aries now. Of course, it's going to start with a little bit of regret. You might feel like, I didn't get that done, or I've lost that opportunity, but it's going to open the door to show you where you should be putting all your emphasis in next. So with relationships, you might have maybe seen that you've lost a relationship, or you might see that you've not been tapping into the relationships that you've been wanting to tap into the way you want to tap into. So that might take another shift. With career, a new idea, new prospect, promotion. So I definitely see an elevation there for Aries in the beginning of Pluto and Aquarius. And so those things will take time. And so if those things don't manifest or tangibly occur, because there's variables of different types of people, then you'll start feeling the urge of such and using that voice and really being more center focused and not really giving a damn what people think around you. So that's for Aries. Taurus, where's all my Taurusarian? Is that how we say Taurusarian plural? What does Pluto look like in Aquarius for the Taurus energy starting in 2025? Well, Taurus energies, I feel like is going to be very fragmented to start. I think you're going to get out of the perspective of appeasing and pleasing others. You're going to stop presenting so much and coming through with your own natural essence of who you are, and kind of not giving a damn if it's sloppy. You might come up so sloppy, not so put together, and I think that's the whole point. And really being true to yourself and letting go of the expectations that others have of you. Because I think a lot what you guys have been doing, especially with Pluto in Capricorn, has been really much focusing so much on, how you need to structure and present things to people. That's going to go away. And I think for that now, you'll be like, look, I'm sloppy. This is how I'm showing up. Take it or leave it. And I think it's going to be a freeing aspect for you guys when Pluto enters Aquarius. So get ready, Taurus. I think it's time to start accepting if your hair's a little messy, if you didn't really quite get to your notations correctly, that's all right. You're going to be getting your point across either way, and you're going to start realizing that those expectations that you thought people had of you don't really have it of you, and so you're going to allow yourself to be more free with it. So with relationships, I feel like you're going to get rid of a lot of relationships that maybe held you to a higher standard, or relationships that have pressured you so much that you feel like you keep having to feed. Those relationships will break down, and you'll find relationships that just accept you for who you are and don't care and don't judge you for that, so you can be more relaxed and not the bull in the china shop energy. So I think the Pluto in Aquarius is really going to affect Taurus in a great way. So Taurus, it's time now, Taurus, for you guys to get comfortable, take your chill pill, be in relaxed mode and coast there. And I think things will be well. So with career, again, you might start, getting rid of jobs that have been too pressuring of you, that really don't make you shine. And also even the relationships around you in your life that have been too demanding will start taking a back seat. You'll find more of that casual approach to your relationships and communication. So that'd be a great start, coming with 2025, moving forward in that way. Of course, things will expand out of 2025. We're just doing it for that year because things will evolve. Okay. Geminis. Oof. What does that mean for, Geminis and Pluto and Aquarius for the Geminis? Well, I think with Geminis, you're going to really find more stability. And so less fragmented energy, less bouncing around. So I think you're going to want to focus more on longevity with certain things. If it's relationships, I think you want to be more stable in your relationships, more consistent, locking things down, especially when it comes to like career and thinking out of the box. You're going to want to find more of a consistent approach to things now when Pluto enters Aquarius. And I think that's going to allow you to be more focused on stability, consistency, and also allowing yourself to see the value you do put out in people's lives, but also with the crafts that you do. So I think that, you'll start appreciating more of the things that have been in your life. So I feel a huge sense of appreciation. But that also leads to expanding and creating more value, because the more we appreciate things, value increases, right? And so when value increases, so does money. So I think it's a good time for Geminis, for you guys to really start diving into your passions now and finding the longevity with that, and not doing it because you feel like it's something of being of service to people, or doing it because, again, you want to be the leader in certain things. Just doing it because you're passionate about it. Very similar to what we were saying about the Aries energy, in a sense of like doing things for the self now. But for you, Geminis, it's really going to be about longevity and consistency. So if you haven't been able to lock down a relationship, you will this time around. If you feel like you've kind of been, instability with relationships, or relationships with people in general, you'll find more committed and I would say sustainable connections during this time too, which will also allow that to be expressed within work, career, and all these other dynamics in your life that will be very, very great. Again, so I think financially too, Geminis might find a great increase of finances. That's what I was saying before about more of that appreciation energy, stability, which creates value, which will manifest money. So there might be a lot of financial growth for Geminis in the starting of 2025 now that Pluto's enter Aquarius, because you guys generally want to help everybody else, and you like to maybe dive and dip your feet into different pots, so to speak, but you're going to find a consistent energy moving forward when Pluto enters Aquarius. So it's a great thing for Geminis too. Now remember, your rising signs also take a place. I think Geminis have to really also look at their rising signs, because I feel like with the Gemini energy that your rising sign can really kind of anchor things down or disrupt things. So I think it's also taken in consideration your rising Geminis in this time too. Cancers. Oh, Cancers. We love you so dearly. What does Pluto and Aquarius mean for the Cancerian energy? Well, I think in the beginning, there's going to be a lot of, loss, for Cancerians. But I think the loss is a good thing. I think it's going to be pushing you to be more independent and pushing you to be more isolated. And so you can really start hearing yourselves now, not be so emotionally dependent upon other people. So I really feel like the Cancerian energy is really going to be focused on independence, actually. And really finding the strength that they thought that they had, but they were kind of maybe relying upon other people to find and to seek that validation from. Your Cancerians are really going to get the validation from the self, and understanding the power that they have to change and shift things around them. And so I think that the emotional stability within Cancers will be very effective this time around too, because I think that Cancers are really going to adapt to this Aquarius energy to understand Aquarians are actually, they're not cold individuals. They really care. They're about the humanitarian energy, which really kind of relates to the Cancerian energy. So I find that Cancers and Aquarians will come together during this time too and have a mission. They could tag team during this time as well. But I think the first part of this is that the Cancers have to understand what it's like to be completely independent and really hearing their own voices. So I think a lot what the Cancerians have been trying to build for so long is going to come to manifestation too during this time. It's almost like their creations, their power will become tangible. Cancerians have had a very difficult time the past, I would say, year or so, getting their grounding, finding their footing, both emotionally and with relationships and career. And so I think during this time, it's going to evolve to where they start really finding that they're securing their voices, they're securing their craft and their abilities, because they're really finding that there's there's others around that support them, but they're actually learning to listen to their own intuition now and the power within. So a lot of this energy for Cancerians could actually manifest into heightened intuition, heightened his psychic abilities, mediumistic abilities. And so I think the individual focus will come first, but that'll also help to extend. And you guys will realize how your visionaries too will start coming to manifestation as well. So, and yes, Iggy, I was being very, very kind, but yeah, it's more since January of 2028 for Cancer is correct. But the individual focus of what you really truly feel, because, you know, Cancerians, you know, you're going to get past that I need validation from people. Like I was saying earlier, you realize I don't need the validation, because I always say those who seek validation in your own mind, your mind is still deciding whether or not to validate somebody else's validation or not. So at the end of the day, it's all you anyways. So yes, and I think you'll learn what the humanitarian energy really is. You'll learn from the Aquarius energy to understand how to really kind of mingle with other people in the way that's being on the same level, not that you're relying upon them or seeing yourself better than. A lot of that ego. And I would say more of the male Cancerian energies, your ego will take a turn for the better. You'll start realizing you've been living in ego too much, and that ego is going to take a step down and start living from the heart. So that's more for the male Cancers. And I'll find with certain signs too that so a lot of times it will be, you know, the male-female energy might be the same, but sometimes it might be slightly different between the male and females. I usually find that with Cancerian energies too, that the male-female energy is slightly different. Leos, where's all the Leos in the room? What does Pluto and Aquarius mean for Leos? Well, I think there's going to be a huge shift with Leos, actually. I really find Leos will start taking a back seat, not in a sense that they're not in the spotlight, but in a sense allowing themselves to relax and not be the center of focus, but allowing people to be center of focus. Now, the Leos who are not focusedly driven, you might realize that you don't have to take care of everything anymore. That life is showing to you that, you know, you can actually allow others to do for you too. You can allow others to kind of mingle in your space and take charge, and that you might enjoy taking the back seat and letting others kind of stepping up to the plate for you. So I think it's going to be a good time where you guys are going to start to realize that with the Pluto and Aquarius, that you do have that humanitarian energy deep within, but it's been kind of more focused on the ego, and the ego has been more about needing attention or having to do it for yourself, not letting anyone chip in. You're going to learn what that's like to take a step back and find the peace. So I really think that, you know, Pluto and Aquarius is going to allow the Leos to have great peace and being kind of, I would say, confident in their own presence, in their own energy, without having to need, you know, to step in and be a leader all the time. And so this will work well for relationships. So I think, ladies, those are your Leos. If you're looking for a man to take charge, you'll find it this time. So you'll allow yourself to take a step back and not be an overbearing, you know, female energy in your relationships. You'll allow yourself to take a step back and be courted and let somebody else take the lead in your relationships. I also feel as well that you might even find a great aspect of just being more contributive in your work environments, where you don't have to be in a leadership position. You might be exhausted that, you know, I'm tired of being in charge. I'm tired of everyone, you know, looking for me and of relying on me for ideas. I just want to take a step back and allow them to figure it out for themselves. That detachment is going to be a wonderful, wonderful aspect for the Leo energy. I feel Leo's really coming into their balance actually during this time of leadership, but also adapting the Aqua energy. And, you know, and we'll get into Aquarius soon, because I feel like the Aqua Leo energy during this time is really going to connect. I feel like Aquas and Leos are really going to find a huge merging of energies and really almost like a commonality, because, you know, even though Aquarius is a fixed sign, the Leos are very opposite from Aqua, where they're opposing sides. But there's going to be a great union with the Leo Aqua energy. So that's going to be exciting to see moving forward too. So in your relationships, Leos, you're going to be able to be more of a supportive role and taking a step back and enjoying it. And with your careers, you're going to do things that you never thought before. You might find a different aspect for your career that just feels more just passionate, more nurturing, and just allowing others to teach you now instead of being the teacher. So it's going to be a wonderful, well-rounded approach to you, Leos. And so I'm actually very interested to see what Leos that I start connecting with again during this time, or new Leos that come in my life. So it'd be very interesting. Virgos, where the Virgos at? All right. I'm a Virgo rising, so I identify with the Virgo energy. So what does Leo and Aquarius mean for Virgos? Well, I think, the commonality of Virgos is that we think a lot, right? But I think that, what's going to happen with Virgos is that their logic is not going to become tangible logic. Their logic will be spiritual logic. I actually find Virgos to become and refine to be more intuitive. So those Virgos who have intuition, your psychic abilities will skyrocket during this time, because even though we overthink things, as Virgos, and even though we kind of like look at things very objectively, there's still an intuition that Virgos have deep down within that makes them very logical. So I really find the logical side will be obvious for what it is, but the psychic abilities and psychic awareness is going to come to the forefront now. I think a lot of the Virgo energy is going to start becoming more leaders in what they're doing, and getting a lot more attention for what they're doing. So I feel sometimes Virgos get misunderstood or not really getting the attention they deserve. I feel like in this case, Virgos will start getting the attention that they deserve because they're actually living from their intuitive space now. And that is going to become Virgo's new logic. Well, it's logical because I feel it. It's logical because I can sense it psychically. So your psychic awareness is actually going to be your new logic. So it's a great time for Virgos to be more in alignment to what really being perspective really means from the soul level. So within their jobs, I really feel like their leadership is going to be the precipice of what they're doing in their careers. So if they're if you're on board to get a promotion, that will happen. If you never thought about being any part of a leadership aspect, you will start finding that leadership aspect coming into play within your work and career, and doing things that are very influential and very inspiring, actually. So, and with your relationships, you might find that people are depending upon you more and listening to you finally. You're like, oh my gosh, my relationships, they're hearing me out. Like I'm saying things and they're like actually taking what I'm saying as valid. So I think this is a great time for Virgos to really start taking a lead in a better light, in a better format. And it's because it's coming from the intuition and the psychic self. So Virgos, if you're having bursts of intuition and bursts of psychic awareness, tap into it, express it, and expand that more, because that new logic is going to come from spirit and less from the mind. All right. How y'all doing in this room? Okay. All right. Next up, we have Libras, the Libra energy. What does Aquarius and what does Pluto and Aquarius mean for Libras? Well, let me take a moment here because I'm going to pull a couple cards on the Libra energy. I have to think about this one. Take some time to channel this with Libras. Okay. Okay. Libras are going to feel split for a little bit. You're going to feel beside yourself. You might feel a little cray-cray. It's not a bad thing. I think you need to understand duality. And I think the Libras are going to start understanding that, sometimes a little chaos could bring more definition. Everything doesn't have to be in perfect order and perfect balance. Everything does not have to be, the way you think it has to be. So to me, I find you guys, we're going to start being pushed to thinking outside of the box, actually, and getting out of routine, getting out of, that type of, regimented energy, and finding stability in actually thinking out of the box and being more spontaneous, actually. So I really feel even with, the Libra energy that there's going to be a lot more, I'd say reaching for unconventional relationships. So, if you're single, you might start saying, I just need a casual, dating experience. I need something that just brings more fun in my life. And, if you're in a relationship, you might want to do something more spontaneous, take some travel. You might even start saying to yourself, maybe we should kind of spice things up in our relationship. So I really feel like a newfound approach to balance with the Libra energy, and it feels more spontaneous, feels more feisty, more fun, and actually enjoying things in the way they are, not because you have to arrange it to enjoy it. You're just enjoying it for what it is. So I think you're going to find balance in spontaneous, being in spontaneity, finding balance in thinking outside the box. Again, with relationships, you might want to spice things up more and do something more fun. A lot more travel, I'm finding for Libras too. So if there's been a lot of Libras that haven't been traveling as much, and you'll start probably getting more into traveling, getting out of your shell in that sense too. And again, not conforming. I feel like a non-conformist energy with the Libras as well. So there might be very more, I would say, rebellious in a sense, right? As far as getting out of the box and unconforming. So you might find that start sparking out of your soul in a sense. And of course, I think that's the Aqua vibes bringing that out, the rebellious nature. But you'll understand that rebel nature is actually bringing things in balance. And so I think a lot of you Libras will be a fire starter in your work and what you're doing, even the fire starters in your relationship. So I think, again, you guys will be shining in your own right too, but for creating fires. And sometimes it may be something that will make people uncomfortable, but that's bringing balance for them. Sometimes it might make things more comfortable for people. But either way, you'll start recognizing that you're starting to think outside the box, and you could be that fire starter in both a positive way or a negative way, but you understand the truth sometimes hurts, and so be it, right? So, Scorpios, where's my Scorpios in the house? We just got out of Scorpio season, guys. Man, you Scorpio energy gave us that it did a number on all of us, right? So what does Pluto in Aquarius mean for Scorpios? You know, I'm really finding Scorpios craving family. I just kind of feel it. And this is starting with 2025 too. I'm really starting to feel them craving family, craving connection, craving stability in that sense too, wanting deep relationships, deep conversation, right? Want to dive deep into creativity actually. So I'm really finding a softer side of Scorpio during the Pluto and Aquarius. And I think they're going to find a newfound inspiration within themselves too, but connecting with others is going to help to amplify that. So if you've been in isolation, Scorpio, I feel like you're going to find communities around you that really resonate, and not communities that you just dive into whenever you feel so. You're going to find a consistency with community, a consistency with those who have similar interests and expanding your interests. A lot of creative energy I find with Scorpios during this time. If you're into visual creativity, or like you're a painter, you do some sort of graphic design work, or you just like to decorate, that's going to like come out, very well during this time too. And understanding how it is to connect with other people. And staying outside of that shell, that you can isolate, but also still be around people and finding that balance. So if you're looking to start a family, you probably will start your family now, Scorpios. If you're looking to find a community of people that resonate with you, you'll find that now. If you've been feeling somewhat creative and don't know how to express it, it's going to come out now. So I would say take that lead on that. But I think it's going to start with a very intimate energy, but you'll learn what intimacy means in a collective setting. And that's going to be interesting to you, that you can feel like, I'm around all these people, but it feels intimate to me. I'm not alone and feeling intimate, but I'm around those people. That feels very intimate. Breakthrough for the Scorpio energy. And it's not just about, I would say surface, relationships, or just relationships just to someone to have fun with and they're there. It's like deep, meaningful connections you can start expressing and also expanding upon during this time too. So again, with career, I feel like you'll probably find things that are more related to any type of creative aspect of self. Creativity doesn't mean that you're doing artwork. Creation means that you're doing things in a creative way. You could be, put creativity into being a parent and so forth. You'll feel these sparks of creativity with your work, and that will expand. You'll probably align with things that really kind of like resonate and really bring passion to you, right? And so you'll be more passion focused during this time too. So I think it's a great time for Scorpios to really get out of their shell and really find what community really means, and creativity, and really writing and going on based on what their passions are, and finding a passion if you haven't found a passion already. All right, Sagittarius. Where's all the Sages in the house? What does Pluto and Aquarius mean for Sages? So, well, I find Sagittarius being kind of leading with their intuition, actually. I find they're going to really kind of change their personality. I feel like a personality shift or a personality upgrade with Sagittarius. I think there's going to be a lot more, I would say, mystical people coming from the Sagittarius energies. So there might be new psychics coming out from the Sagittarius energy. There might be even more mediums evolving. So all this mystical energy seems to be hovering around the Sagittarius energy. So those of you who maybe thought you weren't psychic, you'll probably realize you're psychic. Those of you who felt this mystical energy, you'll start practicing and realizing it's coming to pass. I think there's going to be a lot more, I would say, Sagittarius in the spotlight that will be making some sort of change because of their mystical energy that's brewing within them. And so I think that we all need to take heed in that kind of Sagittarius flowy energy. A lot of spontaneity too. So I feel like Sagittarius kind of branch out of this kind of regimen, or this kind of like, they may have felt stuck for a while, that I feel like they come out and they feel more free, more expansive in that sense during this time as well, during this Pluto and Aquarius. So I really think too, they're really feeling themselves. I feel psychically Sagittarius, the Sagittarius have been kind of questioning themselves and, kind of been in this mundane energy, which reminds me of Britney Spears kind of spinning and dancing in a loop. That's kind of what the Sagittarius has kind of been too. It's kind of just like in this kind of loop of like not going anywhere. So I feel like the knives will come out. And you'll kind of get out of that mundane. You realize, I've been kind of in a mundane. I haven't really been expressive and as freeing as I usually am. And so that's going to be a burst of energy. But a lot of it's going to come with mystical, spiritual energy. So if those have been on a spiritual conquest, might dive back in. Those who've been maybe finding, pieces of intuition and psychic abilities, that's going to start, evolving too. So with relationships, I really find that you're going to be very selective during this time too, who's around you. You're probably going to be like getting rid of certain people that have been taken advantage. You're probably going to be welcoming people in. So I see you setting more boundaries with relationships. And with career, I feel you guys saying, I deserve better now. I'm going back to my roots, actually. That's a huge thing with Sagittarius energy I've been finding lately, even with Sag season, is that going back to your roots, actually. So we can all... Every sign can learn about this during the Sag season right now is getting back to the roots. I really find that Sag is going to go back to their roots, find what really made them who they are, and expand that. And their psychic awareness is going to go through the roof too. So it's good to see even the Sages having the mysticism evolve too during this time. So that's great. All right, Capricorns. Where are my Capricorns at? Where are y'all at? I love the Capricorns. My dad's a Capricorn. Best friend's a Capricorn. A lot of Capricorn energy around me too. What does Pluto and Aquarius mean for Capricorns? Well, Capricorns, it's time for you guys to shine, okay? It's time for you guys to get out of the corners, stop doubting yourself, stop overly questioning yourself. Your self-esteem is going to go from the pits of hell to the peaks of heaven, okay? Because you guys have been keeping your confidence levels really low. And second, question yourself, I don't know. I mean, I know if I can't do this. And so this is going to come to an end. And I think a lot of your passions are they're going to be forced upon you, saying like, I got to do this. I got to get this passion going. I got to get this job going. I got to get this idea going. You're going to feel a push for this, Capricorns. And you're going to start realizing that you do deserve recognition, that you do deserve to be happy. And you don't deserve to be overly structured and overly putting yourselves in limitations and putting yourself in the box, that you deserve this now. So this realization that you deserve more is going to hit the fan for you Capricorns. And I feel a huge push into a new direction with work, career, hobby, believing in self-worth, allowing yourselves to be more financially abundant. Because I think, I noticed with a lot of Capricorn energies are not allowing themselves to be as abundant as they should be. There's a struggle there because whether or not you guys are worth it or can accomplish that, all that is going to come into fruition for you, that you can realize, I do deserve this. This should be easy for me. Why am I getting in my way? So, and I also find it also with Capricorns a very creative energy for a lot of people too. And that creative energy could be that you're finally, like, the dreams that you've had are coming to fruition. You might have said, I always dreamt about living in this location, and boom, you're living in that location. Your manifestation, abilities will be heightened, Capricorns. You're going to start seeing, I thought about something, it's happening. I'm seeing the signs. Your intuition is going to skyrocket right now. Your psychic ability is going to skyrocket right now too. I've been noticing even my dad, his intuition, he doesn't even realize it's been like on point. So my dad doesn't represent all Capricorns, but I've been seeing that across the board and psychically with Capricorns, your intuition, your psychic abilities also will be heightening. And I think this is true across the board with all signs, but those who've been maybe didn't think they were so intuitive, you'll start recognizing, I'm freaking intuitive. So I love you Cappies. So you guys are going to get some spotlight too. You guys are going to come out of the woodworks and realize you guys are needed and very effective. And I think that's going to be a great way to build that confidence up again within yourselves. So great spotlight for Capricorn. Aquarius. What does Pluto and Aquarius mean for Aquarians? Now, being Aquarius myself, I'm slightly biased here, but I feel like Aquarius, it's time for us to take the lead now. I think it's time. We've been kind of hiding away, letting people do their things, not getting involved, letting people be, right? Don't want to start any problems with people and isolation. But I think it's time, we're called now, Aquas, to really take a stand now. It's our turn. We have been put down, since Atlantis period. We've been fought against and made fools out of for a long time. time, but now it's our time to start leading and bringing the fun into humanity and being also representative of what it means to be independent, but also what it means to be a part of the collective and effective on the collective too. So I see Aquarians actually during this time finding their peak positions. Their careers are going to expand, right? But also your compassion is going to expand as well. And you're not going to lump people in as a whole. You'll be very individually approached when it comes to collective, but it's also understanding how to work with such. Aquas, it's time for you to be in your long-term relationships now. And if you've been in a long-term relationship and you've been fighting against it, you're going to settle into it. If you've been looking for a long-term relationship, Aquas, it's going to happen now. Now's the time for love to be stable for you guys. Peak of career, peak of relationships, it's time. You guys we all have as Aquas have been kind of like fragmenting our energy for a lot of other people and different things that now we're going to start hitting home on the things that really that are important to us. And that's what's going to allow us to lead by example in that sense. So get out of your box. It's time to start feeling that expansive energy now. And me personally, I've been feeling like this desire to travel more. And I didn't really like to care to travel so much. I was like, I want to travel more. I want to get out. I want to get out of my home. And so you're going to feel that current. And it's going to be very, very pleasurable for you to understand what the complete airy energy really means of freedom is to have no boundaries, to not to be so secured and so domestic at home. Excuse me, we're going to find ways to find that freedom by being not so domestic. So for relationships, again, long-term relationships with Aquarius and also your peak of career, your careers are going to start peaking and you're going to find to be very influential. So take this power seriously because understand like people are going to be watching you. You might recognize that you say something little and people get bothered by it, or you do some people are bothered by it because it is time now people are going to have their eyes set on you. So make sure that you understand that power and you don't get upset if people are bothered by every little thing that you do, that you understand is because you're leading by example right now. And so it's a big responsibility, but we all have to learn as Aquas how to step outside and to face the criticism, to understand what the criticism is and roll it off and lead accordingly. Okay. So yes, Aquas will be very much plugged in this time. Because in history, we've gotten the shaft for a long time. We've gotten the shaft. So now it's time for us to kind of reign for a while. And other people don't realize, we Aquas get such a bad rap, right? Because people think that, when we focus on, me personally, I'll just talk about me personally for a moment, is that when I do something, I put my passion into it. So then people think, oh, he just wants attention. It's like, no, when I'm doing something, I involve myself. When I'm done, I'm out. You won't see me, And so when I worked in entertainment, did performances, I did my performance, I was all there. And then when I was done, I just put my hoodie on and left the stage and went home and didn't want to be bothered, right? So we put our heart and soul into everything and people just misinterpret that. And with people we care about, we're there for people that we really care about. We're very loyal people and very consistent with people. So, and we put our energy to where it matters. And sometimes that means we don't put it into one person, but we're going to start doing that more selectively too, which is going to help us on the personal level as Aquas as well. So it's a great time for Aquas. We're no longer silent. Okay. But yes. All right, last but certainly not least, and maybe I'm sure this is going to be something with the Pisces as well. Pisces, what does Pluto in Aquarius look like for Pisces? Now, I think with Pisces, they're gonna have a little bit of a hard time in the beginning, realizing they're not right all the time. Okay, you might realize, maybe my perspective isn't correct. Maybe I'm not seeing it quite the right way, but I think that in that beginning of understanding that you're not completely right all the time, everything you're seeing has not been that way. It's going to shatter down a lot of old ideas of what you've been perceiving, Pisces. But that's not a bad thing because I think what's going to happen is you're going to recognize, I have been kind of stalling for a while. I've been stalling. I've been kind of too consistent. Why am I stalling again? Why do I believe these certain things are going to happen? Why am I putting myself in limitation mode because what I think might happen? And so and keep myself in safe zone. You're gonna get out of safe zone, and so you're gonna start recognizing there's people that can bring you wisdom. There are people that can bring you assistance, and there's other ideas out there that you haven't considered that you're gonna start kind of diving into. It's almost like a buffet. You're gonna allow yourself to kind of dabble with different portions of this buffet. And so I think you'll be getting out of a stagnant energy and more into an expansive energy of, I'm really feeling like I want to do something different. You might change your hair color. You might change your wardrobe. You might do something new. You might want to move. So there's going to be a lot of great change for Pisces, but I feel like Pisces will be setting a new tone, setting a new environment, setting a new rhythm, finding a new rhythm. So be open to this. And so once you do, then you'll realize that maybe you've been stalling too much and now it's time to start accelerating and participate in the way that isn't isn't just individually approach, but also collectively approached too, because I think Pisces tend to be more focused on self and more on the surface aspect when it comes to people, and I think that's been fine because you've been really understanding what it's like to find your passion and what you really truly are good at. But now it's time to find the elevated version of that, Pisces, an elevated version of how you can take it further. You've mastered stability, you've mastered consistency, whether it be good or bad, you've mastered it. Now it's time for a little bit of expansion to understand. Now it's time to grow and evolve into something newer, a newer version, a newer rhythm. So this might mean a career change or a career expansion for you guys. In relationships, I really feel you're going to kind of have a huge swapping of relationships, actually, and a swapping of relationships to where, you start realizing that maybe I need to reconnect with that friend that was really correct about what they're saying before, or I've been around superficial people, or I've been around people that just kind of surfaced that wasn't really providing any depth for me. So Pisces, you're going to seek a lot more depth, a lot more passion in this time. And I think it's really going to contribute more to you recognizing that there's more perspectives out there. There's other ideas out there that are outside the box that you've been in that is going to help you to accelerate. So if you've been feeling stuck for a while, Pisces, or feel like things have been quite boring, now's the time to bring the party in and start enjoying the party and start doing new things when it comes to your social aspects, but as well as your creative and also professional endeavors too. But, relationships, you'll almost feel like your relationships are taking like a surgical, going through some surgery. This one's going, this one's coming in, I'm bringing this one back in. But understand that realization is a very positive one, because this means that you're releasing the anchor now and you're allowing yourself to move forward. So it's a great time for Pisces to find that new rhythm, the new version of self, new change, a new feisty, a new, I would say, expressive energy. So it's great for the Pisces energy. So, all right. So bring the party, Pisces, because you guys know how to party. I'll say Pisces know how to party, but you guys have been kind of stuffy for a little bit. You guys have been kind of safe zone for a little bit. Like, where's the fun Pisces energy that we're used to, right? And letting go of the traditional and being non-conforming again, right? So that's a wonderful thing that I think is going to come to fruition for our lovely Pisces. All right. So that's all 12 signs. Again, very general because it's a very quick read on all 12. And then, of course, it varies by individual. And check out your rising signs too. So I will cut these down into smaller clips, and you can also counter connect, I would say, your rising with your sun signs as well. And I would say collectively for all of us, it's a time of inspiration. And there's a lot of similarities between different signs as well. It really is all about inspiration and finding a new version of self, independently, but also how it works with the collective energy. So a lot more inspiration, a lot more together energy, less of the selfish energy, more of I am the God versus of I need a God, right? With the age of Pisces, I need, a God in my life. So we're going to find a lot of I am the gods of my life. I am the one that's creating the tone. I am the one that's shifting and being expansive. And so is everybody else. They're their own God too. They're their own gods of their own myth too. And wow, we're just blending stories. How rich is that? How fun is that? We shouldn't be stopping that diversity. We're understanding how to connect those aspects of the collective, and that's where we're going to shine. It's time to shine. It's time to elevate. Time to rise above, because we're coming from a very dark period. And so, and again, I think we all have bits of aqua in all of us, and we all have bits and pieces of aspects of all signs within us, because we've all been there, done that. We've all been different signs. I'm a 13 degree, ascended master Aquarius. So of course I've been there with the Aquarius energy for a long time, but I have previous incarnations where I wasn't always aqua, and just like everyone here has different past life, energies and so forth. And I always say each past life incarnation is stored in our DNA. We carry that information from our previous incarnations. You dive into your soul, you can illuminate parts of that information in your DNA and bring back in those realizations, bring back in those skill sets and talents that you once had, or the realizations into this incarnation, if we understand how to fine-tune the soul expression to reach that information. So I think right now there's gonna be a lot more spiritual elevation too, during this Pluto into Aquarius for the next 19 years, not 24 as Christopher misspoke this morning. And so it's gonna be a wonderful period. So let's take advantage of this energy. Once more, guys, if you're living in a negative state and fear, everything positive will experience in the disempowered version. So when we can take advantage of this energy astrologically, we can use it to our benefit. If you don't, you'll be fragmented. You will be cast out by society if you're not going along with this energy. All the opposite of things that will happen during this time will occur. You won't know yourself. You'll feel like you're disconnected from people. People are casting you out or leaving you behind. You'll feel the shadow aspect of the positive if you're not on board to your own evolution. So be aware of that that too when you're starting to feel opposition. All right, let's pull some cards in closing this, and we'll get to Nina's message and also the one-on-one reads. Just pull some cards in closing. So I'll need a quick little breather before I get into the one-on-one reads. So, yeah, where does he get the 24 from? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to. He's a very amazing astrologer. So when he said 24, I'm like, isn't it 19? I'm just like, okay, I'll just let it be. I don't want the psychic correcting. Yeah, I don't know. We all make little glitches here and there. Okay, final cards for the collective. Oh man, I can't make this up. I love this. And pull some oracles, and then this would just be kind of finalization for collective read for the collective over here. Everywhere, I don't care. Okay. Oh man, I love this. I mean, this couldn't be any more. So we have the Tower in reverse card for everybody. Change, right? Not disastrous change. So the Tower card in reverse is like, there's some change going on deep within. It's not catastrophic change, but good change. And the Wheel of Fortune card secondary is saying new cycle, new karmic cycle. These ages are important. These cycles are important because we're all collectively starting a new cycle. Individually, we do our own karmic cycles and change, but this is a collective cycle change, which means the collective has evolved and upgraded to a certain degree that we're all collectively making the shift. That's amazing. That's wonderful. The collective. Ace of Swords is emotional agility to me. I mean, you guys are going to really know the core of where you guys stand now moving forward. Like I said before, going back to the roots during the Sag period, you guys are going to be very agile emotionally about like, I'm doing this, I'm not doing this, is where I'm going, is what I'm doing. So that emotional certainty, the intellectual certainty is going to be brewing within all of us during this collective shift time too, as well. Fear brings sovereignty and acceptance. So, like I said, we've come out of this dark age, this dark period of fear and the shadow versions being exposed. Excuse me. But that's actually finding more sovereignty within the self. Like I said before, going back to the core and saying, this is who I am as a sovereign being. I'm not responsible for everybody. No one's responsible for me. We're all responsible for ourselves individually, and finding that power within and understanding that power actually helps the collective. And the acceptance card is really kind of the acceptance of what is. Right? Acceptance of what is, all that is. Things happen the way they happen for a reason. There's positive and negative for a reason. And acceptance of this is what is. This is the duality of physical reality. And there's a spectrum of duality between the good of good to the bad of bad. And there's a spectrum of all that is. And so all has to exist, but non-existence. And the acceptance of that is actually true mastery, true growth. You hear me say it all the time. I got t-shirts in the making. It's about being objective and unaffected. And that's the God energy. Right? And understanding the cycle. Everyone is going through a specific cycle. You may not understand why in the physical life, why these people are going through these treacherous cycles in their lives, but it's this karmic cycle they're going through. You may not understand, but all these cycles is the mechanisms of the collective energy, right? And so the acceptance of that brings complete growth and freedom on the soul level, but also the physical level of this physical experience. Okay? All right, let's get the quick message from Nina, and we'll get into the one-on-one readings in a moment. So here's Nina.
What is up, Thursday crew? It is me, Nina. I'm excited to share this channel message for you. The card that I got today was the Forbidden Forest. Spirit was showing me this energy around persistence. Like I heard consistent and persistent. Persistent in entering these spaces that maybe you've never entered before, or entering into a new energy, entering into a new you is what I'm hearing. And the message is you are so brave to keep going the way that you are going, because it could be really easy to get swayed. So there's something too that came up about the mind and like the mental space and the crown chakra in specific, and giving to the crown chakra and going in to figure out this next chapter for you. In what ways have you already been persisting but can continue this energy going to the next few months? I'm just hearing that everything that you've been wanting is coming, even though it can feel off or it can feel bumpy. It's just all part of that ride.
That's true, and we can all choose to, we've chosen to ride the ride, right? That's why you're here. I was like, I didn't choose to be here. You chose to be here. You're here. You're not a victim or slave to reality, right? We've chosen to be here. So, you know, when we look at this and say, okay, well, if I've chosen to be here, what is the real reason why I'm here? And maybe these aren't bumps after all. Maybe these are wake-up calls. Maybe these bumps, and I always like to take the analogy, and I love that message, Nina. Thank you. And I like to use the analogy when you're driving on a freeway and you fall asleep and those bumps wake you up, and it's like, do you like go out and God damn those bumps? You're like, thank God it woke me up, it shook me, you know, it shake me, thank God it scared me. You know, it's like an alarm, it wakes you up, and so you're thankful for that. Same thing in life. You might start recognizing that I've chosen to be here, but these bumps are trying to wake me up to something. What is it? What is it? You know, and so that's really what these bumps are. So I like that, Nina. And so I think also, you know, what you're reading too with the crown chakra too is just like, you know, getting out of the head. You know, crown chakra is made to inspire. Let's let the inspiration come through, program the brain. Then it goes to the heart, and we kind of understand how to put love into it. And then it goes down to our solar plexus to where we're able to kind of digest and come from the core. And then the sacral chakra, we can actually push it out and create with that. Let's understand the flow. Right? Let the crown chakra be where the inspiration comes in. Let the inspiration tell the brain how to think, how to process. And then it comes from the heart. Then we find the love. We put love into it, like I said before, and it goes down to our solar plexus where we find the core and we digest it and we allow it to come out through our sacral chakra of manifestation, creation. Okay, so let's understand that flow. So yes, Nina, love that. Spot on about the crown chakra coming in. We need to be understanding kind of what is the difference between inspiration versus, you know, what's been just outdated logic, you know. So find the flow. Okay, let's get into one-on-one readings now here. First one we already did. First is Kathleen Prentice. And guys, get your questions in now because I'll be closing them down and it's first come, first serve. And at that time, I probably would not continue on. So just make sure you get them in now because I will shut them down. Okay, random card pull for Kate. Let's shuffle here. Wham, bam. I have another video coming too. I started to want to make videos of my synchronicities. I did a story of synchronicity earlier this week. Or was it last week? And I have a Michael Jackson story of synchronicity I'm going to share. I'm going to create a video for that, so that'd be interesting. Keep you all hanging on that one. You know. Okay. Shuffling for Kate. Okay. Okay, interesting. Good night, Chris. All right, Kate, King of Wands. Okay. This is emotional read for me, for you, Kate. You need to get into this creative mode or take control of your creative aspects, okay? And with the Hierophant in reverse and also the Nine of Cups also reverse, it's saying to me that you're thinking you don't have what you need, but you're also kind of like being too rigid in your approach to things, but they're kind of saying like, get out of the conformity energy, get out of the fact that you think you don't need or have everything that you need, that you do. But you have to go back into isolation mode with the Hermit card. I think you need to go back into the self again. I think you're still focusing on other people too much to where it's distracting you from your creative aspects, your creative endeavors. And the creative endeavor is really important to me. It does feel like creative energy and feels like I think you're going to create something new, either like a project or something artistic. I do feel this creativity comes from art or some sort of art endeavor or artistic endeavor. I don't know why they keep showing clay bowls, so maybe you start making something that you can actually sell or something. Maybe it's like potters or planters or working with plants. I feel some of that nature that you might get into, or that organic nature that you're able to sell to people, right? And you create it and so forth. But you got to go back within. You got to really kind of isolate right now, Kate, because right now I think people are just still distracting you too much. And not to say you haven't been doing that, but we need you to consciously do that to understand, I want to create something that people will enjoy. And I don't know why they're showing pots and these planters. Maybe you make these pots and planters and you paint them and you're able to sell them and people love them and then maybe they're personalized. Who knows? But I think there's an idea lurking on the horizon. You know, that you need to kind of get into this owning of creative energy and start saying, I'm living for this brewing of energy right now. Okay. So I think that's a good read in the sense of that. I find this endeavor being something that you create and sell. And look, I mean, these can't make these cards up either. It's self-reflection and release. So spending time with yourself, get in there, say, what is this creative endeavor? How do I want to express this? What's this thing on the horizon that I feel like it's there, but I don't know how to tap into? You know, so, but that organic essence, like they show the planters that you're creating and he's making these things, but then also a greenery and plants. So that could also be, you know, an essence of that you're working with plant life and plant stuff too, and organic stuff of that nature as well. So this will come about, you know, but we got to go back inside and internally to get that, to pull that out of you, you know, which I think will be wonderful this time to realize, oh, wow, I'm actually making money at this. Who would have known, right? So that's good. Katie Rumsey, card pull. I think, right? Yeah. And that's sweet. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. That's very sweet of you, Katie. Thank you very much. You guys who have appreciation really kind of warms my heart. I give the love and I also feel the love. You guys are fantastic and I appreciate you guys. Other channels aren't so kind. Need I say more? Other channels, like, why you can't watch me because I'm wearing a hat? We talked about an LOL. There's other channels of people like, you know, he's got to not wear a hat and all this other crap. And I'm not wearing a hat because that's stupid comment. I just like this shirt better than that hat. Yeah, but you guys are really great in return. So I appreciate every one of you guys. All right, this is for Katie. Okay, interesting. There's two things to this. There's two things. I feel like someone is coming in quickly for you. Now, I can't decipher if that's romantically or it's illegal, because I'm getting a legal issue too, or some sort of legal endeavor that happens in your favor. I always have to say it quickly, because anytime people say legal, like, you know, I'm like, that works in your favor, some legal thing. Because usually when you know, the King of Cups and, you know, the Four of Pentacles in reversed and the King of Pentacles final position, Knight of Swords, it's just like there's some sort of speedy aspect that comes in. So I do think that there's some sort of legal issue that works in your favor, I feel like, because the King of Pentacles is all about practicality, and also the Four of Pentacles in reverse is kind of like not being so practical either. But this does feel legal to me. So we'll use this kind of it's this and that approach. Someone might come in quickly to assist you with any type of legal issue, and it's all saying to get out of practicality mode and get back into like maybe be or north. Don't hold on too tightly onto things. And so I think it's kind of both reads, and so this will work in your favor. Whatever this financial aspect is will work in your favor. And I think it does happen fast. So if you're looking for someone to help you with this financial endeavor, I feel like someone comes in quickly to help you on it. Right. And at that time, if you look at someone will come in that will help you to knock it upside down, so to speak. And, you know, and the King of Cups to me is just also representative of someone who is very wise in what they're doing, but again, really understands the aspects of you know, of financial aspects too, and how to get things going, like the mechanics of things. I feel like understands how to get things moving. So assistance, I feel like, is on the way, Katie. And so if you're not in this financial legal thing right now, you'll understand it'll come in, and then when it starts happening, you'll understand, okay, there's somebody that will come in to help kind of quickly and turn it upside down, you know, So don't fret, they're saying. Simple as it is. And remember, guys, the card pool reads are very general. Like when I get into like one-on-one questions and first, it's very specific. These are just very quick, general reads with the card pools. Because I'm a psychic medium, I don't need tarot. So when I'm doing a one-on-one session with my clients, I can use tarot in conjunction, but I'm reading and it's very in-depth. But these are just very quick, simple questions of random polls, just to be clear. Because sometimes I'm like, I hope you don't think this is how I read in a session. I'm like, I'm deeper in a session. So, these are more simple for fun, I would say, type of things. Sydney Aaron, card pull. Yeah, well, Sydney, I've been I'll just ask you this. You know who's king of feisty, right? And so I've been pushing Christopher to be more spicy. I've been pushing Christopher to be, there's a lot of people that don't want to see Christopher do anything outside of what Christopher used to do. And Christopher's feeling, I would say, he wants to expand and reach more audiences, and it makes people uncomfortable. So I've been kind of saying, no, you want to reach new people. You want to bring people in who maybe don't know astrology too. And we both actually, even with Leading Out Loud, we want to be relatable. We're human. We say fuck. We get pissed off. We are human too, and that's a whole demonstration. To think that we don't do those things isn't spirituality. It's putting your head in the sand. It's being dishonest, actually. Because how many fake gurus do we see walking around all the time? So and I really think and even with the read on Taurus that I did, really fits him to the T, actually, because he wants to be himself. He wants just people to see how he is coming from a place of the heart, but also he's a human being, and we're living this physical experience, and we should lighten up. I mean, the biggest form of enlightenment is just lightening the fuck up, people, I mean, I see so many people in some of those channels just like, oh, stuffy, like, this is a slippery slope. You're showing gay people. I'm like, oh my God, get over yourselves. Complaining about, here I go in my soapbox now. People complaining because, like, Jesus, like, it's like, this is free content. They think that because they've turned on YouTube, somehow we're supposed to tailor the content just for them. And that self-entitled energy, like, I'm going to call it out, and especially in this community, just one specific person, like, I don't watch anymore, and I think that, you need to start doing this type of work. It's like, who are you? Who are you to dictate? Once you enjoy the work for what it is, you don't like it, go somewhere else and pay for content that's tailored to your needs. The self-entitlement. And then, of course, then they're like, oh, that's not spiritual, calling it out. I will call it out for every single time. I'll keep doing it. I'll call it out because it's not appropriate. That doesn't belong here in these communities, that entitlement energy. And I love how your cards fell out, Sydney. Oh, this is so good for you. I can't wait to show you this. Oh, I love it. I love this. But seriously, and there's a lot of people, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. There's a lot of people that are new to spirituality that are not good at it. They think they're new, that they're leaving, the abusive relationships, or leaving shit that they created, and they come to spirituality and they think they can come judge everything now. Oh, don't do that. That makes me uncomfortable because I left the uncomfortable energy. Don't do that. That makes you uncomfortable. Let me tell you something. You're supposed to be uncomfortable. And if you're trying to change things to make you comfortable, it ain't going to happen here. And I'm going to be very vocal about that. You're not going to start making other people uncomfortable because you're uncomfortable about something that spirituality is a very diverse, expansive community. Everyone is welcome. Okay? I've been through the religious trauma and conversion therapy where it was isolated and it was very judgmental of other people. This is not what the spiritual community is for. Everybody is welcome. It's for everybody. And if you don't like that, you're going to be confronted, by me at least, and you need to get out of here and let other people enjoy the expansive energy of things. And so the fact that you're so uncomfortable about mundane things, and I've been seeing this a lot lately, is more reflective of you and less of the people that is making you uncomfortable. All right, back to Sydney Aaron. All right, so Sydney, obviously Leo energy, right? This is my Leo card. So this is Leo energy coming to the table, right? But they're also saying abandon your Leo ways. Go back to your roots, your past, before shitty relationships, right? Go back, like, remember, like, what makes you tick. So this has been a very common energy when it comes to a lot of the collective right now is going back to the roots. So this is definitely like past time card, your past, enjoyments of the past, your roots. So it's to go back to that. And the Lover's card, I really feel like someone new might be coming in soon, actually. So, and especially with the Page of Cups, I mean, you couldn't get any more clear about, new relationship, starting a new endeavor. And it doesn't have to be a long-term relationship. It just feels, again, someone new coming in. A romantic, energy, a romantic companionship energy that comes in. And it might be a slower starter thing, but I feel like you're going to be connecting with that now. Right? And someone might come to your position. And it feels like in the next 3 or 4 months that might occur. Now don't be the typical Leo and say, well, someone else told me that's going to happen, so no, I want to make sure it doesn't happen because I'm not in control of it. Don't do that, okay? And the Magician card is saying that, like, you're going to feel that magician energy. You're going to feel like, I am kind of creating this around me. I am being more laid back and letting things happen because I've intended it for it to be. right? So yeah, I definitely feel like this relationship starts, and it could start very casual, right, and very intimate and heated, and it's not so like monogamous in a sense, but like you're understanding how it's evolving in that sense. I think a sense of fun with that. So the cards are spot on. I think the cards are also using my heated energy when I'm on that quick soapbox. You know. Yeah, and guys, and those who are new to spirituality, please understand, they're spiritual Karens. I did a show about that, okay? They come in thinking they know everything, and when you stand up to them, it's like, you're not very spiritual. It's like, okay, yeah, no, standing up to what's correct is spiritual, whether you like it or not, or it makes you uncomfortable or not, is irrelevant. So you guys should be, a lot of guys, I've been seeing, and I said this morning, you know, don't be afraid to stand up. You know, when people are treating I think of it this way. If I was a restaurant owner, right, and my restaurant held 100 people or 200 people, right, and there's 3 or 4 people there that are discriminating people and causing a problem with people, you're going to kick them out of your restaurant. I would. So even on my platforms, I'm new to social media. I've been doing it, a year, and LOL's, getting its, footing too. So there's about, a couple hundred people. We get a couple thousand views, but there's like a couple hundred people that are chatting and whatnot. And so when I see those 3 that are causing a problem, I'm going to call it out. And if you don't want, and otherwise, why are you leaving a comment if you don't want to be replied to? So if you're going to leave a comment and you get replied to, don't be mad about it, because it's still small enough where I'm seeing people causing chaos or causing some sort of ruckus. And for me, I feel like those who are new to spirituality, finding these new channels, they need to see that our environments are open, not judgmental, critique, and just negative and just self-entitled, right? And just being bitchy. Like, that's not here. We don't do that here. And so if you don't want to be responded to or called out, don't leave a comment. Okay. Ugh, these people. Okay. Stephanie, your question. Okay, I've been feeling love, relationship energy, even though my focus doesn't work. What is going on? Stephanie, okay. I love you, but you have an issue with listening to me sometimes. Okay? And I love you, but I'm going to say this. One time I was live with you, and I said your dad, who's in spirit, was showing me palm fronds and laughing about it in your room. You had no clue. Wasn't until after the session you told me, oh, my husband brings home these palms from Sunday church, and my cat eats it in my room. And so I'm like, Stephanie, I love you, but you got to listen to me. I have been telling you for the past 2 months, even with Chris Reck on the show, that I said, work is great. We predicted your opportunities that came to pass, right? So you emailed me, thank you for that, saying, yes, I was correct. The opportunity unfolded. Wonderful. Good. And we said November. By November, that happened, right? But I've been saying for the past couple months, I feel love is around the corner. I'm just telling you. And you're like, no, I don't want it. No, I don't want it. So I'm telling you, it's around the corner, and it could possibly come in February next year. Okay? Possibly February next year. So you know what's going on. I've been telling you this. Okay? So I'm just glad you're feeling that, though, because, this week can be open for it, and you start seeing that things are good, So please understand, my whole thing, Stephanie, I just want you to be open to it. Be open. I know you close off to it because the situation we pulled you out of. We pulled you out of the situation. We got you, and we're good. It's like this. And he did exactly what we thought he was going to do, and good. You're gone. You're done with that. We love it. Now be open that you're not going to have the same thing again. You're not going to have the same crap. You're not going to have the same bullshit. You're not going to have the same person coming in and doing the same shit because you know better now. So you did take some isolation period, which you needed, but it's here. So yeah, I see it like January, February next year, and we'll leave it at that. And it's not the person, it's Stephanie. It's not the one we're thinking, it feels new energy. Okay. It feels new energy, my love. Okay, so we want new energy. Okay, but good for you. Just think about just last year, right? And pulling away from that situation, right? And how work has unfolded, and now things are going wonderfully, and now you get to complete that cycle with a person that's fun and exciting, and it shows up for you. It shows up. They show up. I feel. I'm just sensing they show up for you. I'm sensing they're. And look at this, my love. You got freaking Ace of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, right? And the Two of Cups. I mean, come on, I can't make this up. So your investments are coming to pass clearly. So a lot of great financial rewards and what your investments are. And the King of Pentacles is that who is really much into the legalities of such. It's practicality. So I think that's also that too. But it's also the energy of like understanding business very well. So that's also coming too. And Two of Pentacles is partnership, love, partnership. So again, taken in phases. And so this is good. This is a good time for you. Okay. Nina, if you were in the room, someone's asking about a reading. So if you could just put in the chat. There you go. She's ahead of me. Never mind. Nina's got it. She's probably typing it as I was saying it. All right. Christina Noel has a question. I want to know about love. If you see someone special come into my life soon and what that person is like, well, for like sake of time, we can only just do a little bit of things on that. Love. I just got to find out if you're blocking yourself though, you know, because the question is, why don't you have it now? What's going on? Why don't you have it now? Why are you wanting something that you don't have right now? That's the disconnect. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's right, Nina, you're a Capricorn. So my read makes a lot of sense now too. I forgot you're Capricorn. Oh yeah, I love the collective read for you, Nina. That makes so much sense. Ugh, right? Actually, Christina Noel, I do feel like someone's might be coming in your life soon. You know what they're saying, Christina? Stop dabbling. You dabble too much in relationships or with people. Stop dabbling with people. Like, you're wasting your energy on that. You know, stop dabbling. But I feel like there's gonna be a Leo energy coming in, actually. So staring card, the Page of Cups is a new, like a proposition, new love coming in. So I think there might be a Leo energy or a Leo rising energy coming into your experience probably within the next 3 to 4 months too, actually. But they're just saying stop dabbling with people, and, really just like invest in what's in front of you. I think that sometimes you're just like waiting to hear something you want to hear, but you're not really like saying, okay, yeah, so yeah. And I think the dabbling is just a fear that you might not get what you want, but I also think that you weren't picking the right people, you know what I mean? And so you were kind of just like, I'm just going through the motions. I'm on this date, but I'm not really feeling it. So, and just kind of dabbling and saying, don't do that anymore. Like, show up, use your intuition. But yeah, I feel like that's, probably within the next 3 to 4 months. And it feels like a Leo energy. Either Leo sun or Leo rising or Leo moon, some sort of Leo essence of energy. And I feel like they kind of take charge. A lot of newness 2025 for everyone, guys. And I see a lot of collective readings around February too. February, March, like new relationships, new career changes, moves, and all that stuff, or starting the process. I've been seeing that a lot. So yeah, that's good. And this might it might start physical, Christina. It might start physical, or might feel like a huge, strong physical attraction. Just make sure you understand. Wow, look, I mean, I couldn't be more clear about this. And the Lover's card too. So it might be something physical, but just don't let it sit there. So Hangman card, you kept yourself suspended for a while, so that's good. And I guess you're confirming this too. So you've been suspended for a while, but that's a spiritual hiatus in a sense. So you've been doing good for doing so. So I think that, yeah, you've harvested the energy. See, what people don't understand is rituals. People want to look online about spells to attract a lover. Did you know when you take time for yourself and you harness energy, that's a spell? And you harness that energy, you say, nope, I'm like harnessing this energy of self-love. That projects and turns into magic to where you manifest what you want on the love level. So that's magic. And so what you did, Christina, was you were harvesting that energy to now push it out and boom, you're going to manifest. People have it all wrong, in a sense, with a lot of these things. We did Katie, right? Yes, we did Katie. And we did Kate. Yes, okay, just making sure I did everybody correctly. Sydney, Stephanie, Christina there, and then AC Chico. AC Chico. She's like, Scott, I know it's your favorite thing to do. Can I please have a card pull? I love you. Look, I don't necessarily like the card pulls because it's like it's not it's impersonal to me. My favorite is just doing one-on-one sessions. I do this because I know you guys love it, so then I love it because you guys love it, right? So you guys want it, so that's why I still do it. That's why I didn't take it off. I'm like, well, they really like it, and it's really helpful for them. So that makes me love it by doing that. So in the past, I was like, oh, the card pulls. But I love being in my sessions. 12 years, I've been doing my sessions, and it just gets better and better and better and better. Because I'm willing to involve my craft more and more to be more assistants. And I just love seeing my clients face to face. I love connecting with them. I love connecting them with source. I love connecting them with themselves, and just, so yeah. So when I have my sessions and I do that, and connecting with spirit too, the card pull's always like, oh, so impersonal, but I get it. It's helpful. So it doesn't bother me so much anymore. Let me reshuffle these. I don't feel the energy is good. Yeah, and thank you for that, Nina. Still shuffling for AC. So obviously AC might be too much back and forth, because I got to pull. I don't like it. So I think that's also a representation. You might be going back and forth too much and swaying too much on decisions left and right. Makes sense now. Okay. First thing, Devil in reverse. It's really talking about, stop being so physical. Like, be more spiritual in your approach to reasoning. Like, don't be so literal on your reasoning. Be spiritual in your reasoning. Like, look at things and saying, there's a spiritual reason for this. Not that, oh, I have to process like this physically. Like, understanding the theme and the essence behind everything that's happening. To keep yourself, I would say, free from trying to be overly logical about things moving forward. And that's what the Four of the Swords come in, that nature too, is like taking a chill pill on that. Giving yourself a break. This is an emotional read. Giving yourself a break. Like, stop pushing too much. Stop being so overly logical, because you're just like, I call it the hamster and the wheel syndrome, where you're just in a wheel, you think you're moving, but there's no progression on anything, right? So just get out of that mindset so you don't keep yourself in that wheel, right? And the Knight of Wands in reverse too is saying that, you're getting away with your creativity. That's what's stalling your creativity, actually. And I honestly, I think you just have to say, fuck it. If something comes to your mind, put it out, write it down. Fuck it. And I think that's going to be the most powerful two spiritual philosophical words you can ever adapt to right now is, fuck it. I'm going to write it down. Fuck it. I'm going to create it. I don't care what it turns. Let me just go with it. And so learning that flow in that sense, and there's many times, because those who know me, that I have music on Apple Music and Spotify, and the big intro song is my music, and I also did music for LOL, just plugging the music in. I love doing music. I've always done music, and that was my first profession, was doing music for TV and film. And I had no intention of being a reader as a career, because I was a mystic secretly since I was a kid, and so Spirit had another direction for me. So in this case, when I create music, it's just like, I just get out whatever it sounds like, and then I just shaping it. It's like, wow, it's amazing how it comes out. So letting things come out, even if you think it might be clumsy, let it become clumsy. Just get it out. It's like, well, fuck it. Let me see what happens when I just purge it, right? Because otherwise you'll just be spiritually and emotionally constipated, and that will hold you back. It's this fear of failure energy. It's a fear of failure, and there may be a loss this year too, like a loss of a family member or a friend. It doesn't feel so close, but it feels like someone there might be a passing this year, and someone might have heart issues. It might feel like heart issues or something like that with this person, but and that might kind of inspire you to see life in a different way. To say, like, what, life is too short. What the hell am I worrying about? I can drop that too. So I think there might be a loss of someone close to you this year, or some sort of loss that's going to inspire you to stop being afraid of failure, to just go and do it. Because if you die, you never do it. I think you're going to take that call. It doesn't feel like devastating. It just feels like someone close to you that passed away, that's going to really inspire you to be like, I am holding back too much, So, and just getting it out, whatever it is. Well, there you go. You just release some clumsy music. Well, that's good. I mean, it's always fun to let it evolve. you know, because it's got to start somewhere, and then you can sit back and be objective and so forth, you know. It feels like connected to a family member or someone connected to a friend, you know. It just feels like connected to family or a friend in that way, you know. It doesn't feel so remotely close, but still something you'll be like, oh man, really? Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like it'll still have like a little bit of impact, but not like devastating. It feels to me. Okay, and I think I have to go to PayPal too. And we've got, I have to relog. These things always make you like a relog in. After like idle for 5 minutes. I mean, it's open. I'm here. Like, what the hell? Okay, just waiting for the PayPal to load. And two for Grace. Okay. Would it make my life easier to continue to do telehealth for school rather than doing my clinical hours in person? If I do in-person clinics, will my supervisor make my life a living hell? Let me see what's best for... I mean, that's a preferential thing. I'm leaning more to in person just for the future, in a sense. Like, we can't make a decision for you. That's not what psychic reads are for. But I will say that either way, it's okay. But I feel like if you did it in person, the experience you get for the in-person connection would be more pleasurable. But also, I feel that's going to help you in the long run. You know? I don't know if... I mean, look, the supervisor energy just feels like, abrasive all around. This is how they are. So it doesn't have to get to you. And so, you could just see it as ways to just kind of push yourself and just to, refine yourself more and take that as inspiration, and also set your boundaries too. So not particularly. I just think the supervisor energy just feels abrasive all around, to a certain degree. But I think if you're focusing on what you're there for and getting the experience that you can do and just getting your clinical hours in, but also doing it like hands-on might be a great thing for you in the long run, they're saying. You know what I mean? So I just want to kind of throw that out there as well. And I know you wanted to also do a card pull, I think you just threw doing a couple. So yeah, I would go in person, and don't let the fact that they might be, I think in the long run it's going to help you. And I think you'll enjoy the engagement better, is what I feel like. Either way, it's good. I just like your experience would end up being better in the long run, And then, and a card pull for you on that. Yeah, that's what I feel like. But again, two paths leading to the same destination. One slightly has more benefit. Grace? It's interesting. Dude, your card pull is kind of, I would say, confirming what I'm saying. And this might just be an overall thing, because here you are, two options. It's like you have a decision. You're caught between two decisions. And with the Five of Swords, to me, this is like, someone that's winning at all costs. But for me, it's saying to you, don't let people steal your thunder. I think that that you want to do things in person. I think you want to go and do your hours in person. But, the fact that someone might steal your thunder is your hesitation. Like, don't let them steal your thunder, like, emotionally. Like, they're just a person. If you're doing what you got to do, there's no reason someone should be in opposition for you. You always have a learning curve too, and also understand how to deal with difficult people. Especially in the field you'll be dealing with difficult clientele. And so I just think it's a good way to get yourself to be prepared of just how to deal with difficult energies. Like, okay, cool. And just being objective and, not taking it to heart, not taking it personally. And don't let people steal your thunder. And making sure that you're banking on what you do for yourself. So I love the cards are kind of like spinning that the emotional aspect of this decision, but also how you should be formatting things moving forward. Which is bueno. I think it's very bueno in that sense. So yeah, keep going. I think this is you're in a good position. You're in a good track, good pace right now. And I think that everything is going to be working in your favor in that sense. It's just you learning how to not be so persuaded, by other people and them stealing your thunder. So, Okay. Next is Francesca. What's coming in for love? In all caps. Is that yelling at me or is that excitement? What does the all caps mean? What's coming in for love? Thank you. I've done that before. I was actually when I was creating graphics for one of my shows, and the font looks great in all caps, and so I was responding to someone and I had all caps on. They're like, "Why are you yelling?" I'm like, "I'm doing something in production, and I'm trying to go back and forth, multitasking." So I'm going to speak in all caps. Well, love is coming. Let's see. Let's pull a card. Francesca, I think that for me. I'm gonna do both too because I feel like love is something that you're relying on too much. Yeah, you gotta clean up a few things before because you don't attract the right you don't have a good picker. I'm just gonna say this: you pick the wrong ones. And I feel like you tend to allow yourself to be around people who take advantage, so you're gonna have to be more aware of this, and making sure you're in the situation for the right reasons. I think you're going into relationships for the wrong reasons, instead of looking at an aspect of companionship and longevity. So you just need to change that. So I don't see anything coming in soon, like, the next couple months, but I think that you should reevaluate that this year. They're also saying you might be, you might be like still in an X situation or not over an X. Get rid of that X, right? So, or that energy's lingering. I think that's another thing that's blocking you right now. Because they're saying like once that goes, one comes in. Like that's how they're showing to me. So you gotta not try to replace that energy, but get rid of the energy and then open yourself up to new energy. And understand there's more to life than just another person in your life too, that you're putting too much emphasis on another person. Put that back in you for a minute. Take that time, like we were saying before with Danielle, who took time to harvest her own energy. You need to do that because you're relying on the fact you need a relationship too much. And that's a problem. And in the long run, it's to be a problem because, the cards don't lie. They talk about people taking advantage and taking from you and taking advantage of your time. And you're just looking at the imagery of like, well, someone's here with me. It's a relationship. And so that's not enough. That's not enough. And you're holding back. You're holding back. You're holding back. And this is all about holding things in. If you look with them, it's kind of a cherishing, holding things in that you're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable enough. And just change that this year, and let go of that past energy. So then because I feel like when you do, then someone else will come in, but that's on you. So there's really no prediction time frame on that. That's on you. That's yesterday. But if you continue doing that, well, then the prediction is always going to be pushed out further and further and further until you understand how to let go of that energy and then let it come in. Because I like to say in situations like this, when people this is the person, sorry for lack of things. Wait, no. This is you all, right? And then this is what you want. Okay. And so the reader says, well, you have something here is waiting for you. Here's your prediction, but you have to get rid of the block, which is the microphone. There's the block. So you can get to it. And so once you get rid of the microphone, then you can get to this. But many guys are like, but I need to know when. It's like, but when you remove the microphone, get out of the microphone, then you get what you want and you live happily ever after. But so many guys are still like, when though? And you're not changing, get rid of the block. And so it's not happening. So every time you move, it's always like this, it's always moving anytime you move forward because you're still letting that block be there. So the prediction is always there, but it's never really connecting with you, and so again, like, the one is when you decide to take this and get it out of the way because we have free will, and not every step we make is written in the stars. But we could see like, yeah, it's there if you just stop doing that thing that you do, right? So that's the message. And I think that you realize, harness that energy for yourself, be better discerning on people around you, and then pull away. Like I said before, just pull away that past energy so someone else, that new version comes in. Okay, so it's not so black and white all the time, guys. It's not all of a sudden like I want something. Where's it coming? Like a genie. Sometimes you got to understand like what's holding us back, and that's the freedom. When you understand what's blocking you, you're like, oh, let me change that. Bam, then things magically happen. All right. We're going to shut down the readings now. Just going to close this down the overlay because I have a few more. There's a live video. I'm getting a little tired from tonight's show, and then tomorrow I have a full packed day of sessions. So I have one live reading next, but I have another in Venmo, which I'm going to clear out. Elizabeth, I can't respond because the live reading has to be through Venmo. Can we get a personal link for Elizabeth Guerrero? Because I need to send her. I've sent her a link, and I'm not going to post it in the public chat because you know how that goes. Because it's only supposed to be Venmo. So Nina, can you see if Elizabeth is in the room? Because we got to get her the link, and I don't want to put it in the chat. So see if we can get an email or something from her, or a text message if she cares about that. Card pull for Allie. Allie. Oh, well, thank you. Why hire a designer? Okay, so it's all combined. Yeah, why hire a designer? But thank you for that. Yeah, I'm just kind of laid back. I think Christopher stole the feisty energy this morning. Usually it's me with the feisty energy. But yeah, he stole it today. Okay, this is for Mrs. Allie Taylor. Okay. Yeah, I feel, winning energy. Moving on. Right? So it's almost like I feel this unconventional energy. I feel this moving on energy. It's like there's a creative energy here. So you're right. Yes, something a bit different than justice. To me, the Ace of Wands is like thinking outside the box. This is starting a creative endeavor for me. Moving on. So like this is the winning energy. So this is Five of Cups reverse loss. This is to me the reversal of losses. I define it as winning, and really kind of moving forward and being in that winning energy. Almost like the past is in the past now, right? You're moving on in the future. So things feel good. So I think that you really will be actually tapping into more of a creative essence now moving forward. And how to really kind of use that creative energy to bring, change from your past and taking that past energy and put it into a creative expression. So there's been a lot of creative energy lately with a lot of people in these card pulls. So yeah, I think that endeavor could be that you put into writing. You start getting the channeled writing in. And we just have to say, we're just going to throw it out there too. It's going to keep coming up with the financials. So this is the financial card, good legal counsel, good legal results. So we're going to throw that in too. Okay. So yeah. So get that creative endeavor going. They're saying it's time for winning now. It's time for winning, Allie, they're saying. Good night, Equus Expression. It's good to see you. I hope you sleep well. Have a wonderful, wonderful night's sleep. And thank you for stopping by. It's always great having you on board, Equist. Okay, so that's good information. I like that, Allie. So start the creative endeavors. Time for winning. You have good legal counsel, good results legally. Oh, that's great. Okay, so yeah. All right, Rashida says, question 1, will I be switched up with my schools this winter? Yes, I feel like school will be switched up in this winter. For some reason. I get a choice though? I don't know. Maybe there's a choice. I don't know. I feel like you can still pick and choose on this, but my answer was yes. I feel like it'll be switched up in a sense. It feels up in the air too, or feels like a choice. Like it doesn't feel set in stone though. So I don't know what that means. And the second question is, will my love life see any major change in 2025? Yes, absolutely. I really feel, especially if the Leo read that we did, Rashida, I think really matches with you. So I feel there's going to be a lot more than it, probably by May, May, June, I think that maybe you'll start really feeling that energy, right? So yeah, I think 2025 mid-May is going to be a great time. I like, again, wanting consistency, taking a step back in your relationships, letting someone take in the lead. That's what we're saying with the Leo energy. So yeah, I really think that's going to be a good time, for that love energy to come in. So whether that's like someone you work with for the rest of your life, at least that's the beginning of meeting someone. So it could be that's open, but I really do feel like, yes, you're going to definitely be connecting with that this year, just like we said with the other individual, Francesca, I think it was, like, she has that ability to find that love, but she's still picking the same person and has that block. So I think that you've been releasing your blocks in a sense. So that feels good to me. And probably more open to it, but like May, June seems like it'd be a nice highlight for you as far as letting that dating life start for you. So that's good. But yeah, the switching of schools seems like a yes to me, but there's something up in the air about it too, right? So it's hard to really be 100% on that one. Either way feels good. Either way too. So, Oh, I love that. Yeah. It feels really open, in that way. Like a shift, like I don't want to say humbling, because that don't sound like I'm judging. Like you like Leos are just so. But I feel like there's a different humbling energy that allows you guys to enjoy and appreciate. So I think that's great. We got Jai. Did you want, Jai, do you want a live reading here or just multiple questions? Okay, for Jai. I want to ask about love again. Got some deeper insights into when you see that picking up next year, the type of personal relationship it is. Also, finances / career are looking great like you predicted. How do you see this part of my life progressing next year? Okay, good. Yeah, my predictions for you, Jai, are always like kind of a no-brainer. I was like, oh, like to me, it's like, of course you're gonna be fucking great with money. Like he's a great investor and great investments. Like that to me, it's so clear with you on finances. But let's look into love life again, because you had some challenges, Jai, with that, and people taking advantage of you. But similar to Francesca before, picking the right people. Right, it's the edge of your fingertips. April for some reason. So you might meet someone in April, or if I have an openness in April for some reason too. You have to be selective though, Jai. You have to be selective. That you have to be like, I don't know. You need a woman that's focusing on her own thing too. Like you tend to date women who don't have much going on, or they're like, they're lying on you a little too much, or they're too detached in the sense that they're someone who's balanced, someone who's like wants to contribute to your relationship, but then also at the same time, someone who's also, has their own thing going on. So be selective. So I feel April that you might feel that opening up, or you might feel like there's like interest coming around you. You have to be selective though. You have to understand what's like to be selective. You just can't let anybody in, they're saying. So I feel like April is a time where you start feeling that openness of like just people being attracted to you, or people like, coming around you. There's interests. So they're just saying, yeah, and that will pick up. But, I think at the same time, you want to still keep career number one. I think that's another subconscious battle you have, that you want to keep career number one. And so keep doing that too. But also I think it's good to have a relationship right now, but it's a great relationship that starts slow, that they're also working on. She's working on what she needs to work on too, and she's focused on what she wants to, but you guys are checking it, and then that can evolve. I think you just change your perspective on that. This way, when April comes around, you can harvest that energy and really have someone there and have fun with the relationship and love too. You just have to stop being so validating of other people, because that can be a very negative. If you're overly validating somebody else and trying to be their fire, then they're just going to take advantage and, use you whenever they need you. And so, you need to be validated, Jai. They're saying it's time for you to be validated. And so, yeah, and I think, there's going to be a lot more, I feel like two new contracts coming in next year, or 2 new investments as well, additional. So it's gonna be busy. I definitely feel a step up. I've always felt this. It's gonna be repetitive with you, Jai, but I feel like it's been like step up too with like 2 different opportunities or 2 new business investments. I feel like come in that add to it. So I see you kind of being very focused on work, actually very busy in that sense, and maybe very important or big contracts in a sense. I don't know how to express this. So I really feel that evolving too, and you're gonna be so focused that you're not gonna have time for bullshit type of relationships. So it's refining you. You know, it's better to not have the relationship there than having one that comes in that's so distracting that just takes more time. You know what I'm saying? So, that's all positive to me. So April, let it come around, right? And so I think, again, you have to be selective. You have to be validated too. And that's going to break the barriers of that, you know. All right. Definitely it's been a rough and slow, and the dating I've been done, some learning. Yeah. I just want to meet the right person at this point. You're right. But remember, Jai, it's timing too. Like, it doesn't have to happen now either, right? Like, sometimes it could be maybe in a couple of years or whatnot, but I think you'll be open to figuring that out now. You know, remember, like, you know, I don't want to like to promote like the toxic masculinity crap, but you really have to be like, own who you are. You have to like own it, you know, and say, look, I'm sensitive, I'm caring, I'm affectionate, and I need someone who's going to appreciate that and not take advantage of it, who's going to value that, right? Who's going to say, well, that wants to return it. You got to think that way. Own that, you know, and you can't look at, well, I'm just going to take care of a girl. No, because let the girl take care of herself. You're there to support, right? So I want you to own that energy, you know, that divine masculine energy. And so when you do, then you'll find a different attraction, both receiving and, you know, what you're attracted to. That'll change. But yeah, I think April is the time where you'll start feeling that opening up. But we just make sure when that energy opens up that you're wise on your selections. Okay. All right. So have we had this Elizabeth situation figured out? Because I have to send a link to call in, but I'm not putting it in the public chat. So that was it's only supposed to be through Venmo because I can comment. I can't comment on PayPal, unfortunately. So I don't know you too well. I'm reading you too well, Jai. I don't know you. Actually, I only know what I've been reading. So, but you got this, man. You're full of heart. You're full of passion, man. And so you just have to cherish that, man. That's a big power. That's a big asset for you. Is that powerful, you know, loving and appreciative energy. So, yeah. Okay. No, I don't have an email address here. I can't. Yeah, there's no email address on PayPal, Elizabeth. I just see the transaction, and yeah, I don't see an email, and I wish I could, but I can't respond to the transactions, unfortunately. I wish it was better like on Venmo, where I can just go on the transaction and comment, but I can't. Well, look, I'll just put it, being that we're almost closed and done anyways, I'll just put the link in the chat anyways. Just click on the link in the chat, Elizabeth, and I'll just, anyone who chimes in that doesn't need to be, I'll just block them from the chat. Because I want to move forward for timing's sake. So, Elizabeth, click on the link in the chat. And anybody who clicks on that link unwarranted, or use that link, put that in your browser. Anyone else who does it will be blocked, banned from chat. And I don't want to ban anyone permanently if they abuse that. So, Elizabeth, if you copy that link, put it in your browser. And Nina and I are good at banning. There was a bot one other night, and they were just spamming like these stupid things. And I was like, ban. I have an easy ban button here. and then Nina was doing it too, and they kept had so many different accounts, and we did like in 2 minutes they were just banned for gone. So Elizabeth, please put that link in your browser so we can get that going on, and then we'll conclude tonight's show because that came in. Yes, we are master banners. Exactly. It was easy, and I love in the system I use, a streaming platform I use. It's just easy, go boop 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 right there. So it makes it so easy. I love that. So Elizabeth, we'll just wait for that and copy that link in the chat. And I don't want to wait too long because it's uncomfortable sitting on a live show quiet. Yes, Unite the Light. Yes, that'd be nice. United Light 2. So hopefully I'll be able to present again and I'll have a better presentation. Not that my presentation wasn't good. It was, I feel like I want to do something a little deeper, you know? So yeah, if we can't get this in today, I can just refund the $40. That's not a problem. But just waiting to call in. I can't sit here to wait too long. But yeah, if we don't get it in, we can just refund the payment and come back. So I'm just waiting on, the link is in the chat again. I put it in there. And yeah, I'll wait like 5 more minutes and then I'll just refund the payment if we can't do it, unfortunately, for whatever reason. Yeah, or copy it, because I don't know if it's clickable in the chat. You might just have to copy it, put it in your browser, and then bada bing, it comes up. Well, guys, it's been interesting. You know, we have an interesting shift. I'll just kind of chat while we're waiting on this. It's been a very interesting, you know, I would say 2024 has been a very interesting 2024. I said in 2023, 2024 is going to be a year of movement, and I meant like emotionally, because there's been a lot of movement. And as far as like when we're saying like moving things around, moving relationships around, moving work around, moving, you know, everything that's been kind of important in your dynamic of life, we've moved it around and created a lot of movement to clear the space out. Also movement of a lot of that subconscious trauma purging and coming to the surface that we can actually deal with it now. And so 2024 has been that year of movement. I've been saying now 2025 specifically is really about, I would say, tangible manifestation. We've cleared spaces out. We rearranged things to prepare for things coming to fruition in 2025. So it's a busy time, 2025. 2025 feels very, very busy. It could be chaotic for a lot of people if you're not doing it right, or if you haven't done the clearance already. You might have trouble fitting things in. But those who've been doing that work and clearance of 2024 and making that movement, 2025 is to be like, that's where, okay, the move is happening, the relationships are happening, things are solidifying what you've been working on. So yeah, it's going to be a wonderful time of tangible physical manifestations coming into play in that movement, right? And so we have to understand, like, you know, I even like we look at 2023, that was a purging period of like really getting out, you know, shit that's been bugging you and like coming to the surface and just kind of coming to that realization of like things that have been holding you back and that realization. So I've seen a lot of people have nervous breakdowns in 2022 and 2023. 2023 was very similar in years, a lot of breakdowns, a lot of, you know, stagnant, stuck energy, sitting in your funk energy, right? And so I think a lot of that in 2024 has like created movement because we did, and then we go to what do you call it? We go to 2025 with that tangible movement. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, Elizabeth, with that. So I can either do one thing because I got to move on with the live. I can either answer your question through text. You can type the questions in the chat, and I'll refund you $10, right, for that, or just refund you the money. We can try again next week. So how do you want to proceed with that? Just put it in the chat. Yeah, tech has been strange. Tech's been really kind of strange, you know, today. Like my computer was doing weird things, like my iPad's been glitching out too. So if the tech ain't right, it ain't right. I can just send the money back, or just type your questions, 2 questions in the chat. I'll answer it and send you $10 back. And we can do that, or just refund it for next time. You let me know. Oh yeah, that's right, guys. Next week is Thanksgiving. I will not be here for Thanksgiving, clearly. So it'd be the following week. So there would be no LOL or Thanksgiving or my live show on Thanksgiving. So yeah. Actually we'll do this. And Elizabeth, while you figure that out, I will definitely let's kind of do we'll end with a sound bath, and then we'll figure out, Elizabeth, whether she puts that in the chat or not. And if we can't get the video up, then we'll just do it and refund the money and do it next live. But here's a sound bath with Lafayette. Enjoy this wind down. Oh, and the video's not found. Let me relocate it. Okay. Jesus. See, now I'm having technical issues here. Because now I'm like, I was trying to do Lafayette sound bath and now it's not there. Okay, which one do I want to play? We'll do this one. Sound bath. Okay, wasn't that peaceful? Let me get my earbud on. I always say Lafayette always transports me to a dimension I don't even know where it's at. Let's come back on. Very loose. And we're going to join with Elizabeth on now. Hi, Elizabeth. How's it going? Glad we finally got it to connect.
Yeah.
Right. So what's your question?
I guess that is the first time, so I'm sorry.
Oh, you're completely fine. What's your question?
I actually don't have a question. I just wanted a general reading.
Well, but that's how I do my service. I do my questions. So do you have any like areas you want me to look into that just, for time's sake? Because that's how I kind of do my work. I do it by question and I dive in.
My work, where I'm currently working at.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I kind of feel like there's, I don't know how they would maybe articulate this with the work that you do. There might be an opportunity for promotion, I feel like, or I always feel like supervisory, I heard, but that just me is a symbol of you maybe raising position. I kind of feel like next year there'll be an aspect where you could be extended a position or a raise in a sense. So I think things will actually improve for work. I think it's been kind of boring. I think there's been needs to change, right? But I was thinking there's some sort of recognition. I feel like you haven't gotten the recognition that you needed, but you will be getting the recognition that you do need in that aspect. So it's almost like they're saying to ask for it too, like ask for the change, ask for this, promotion. So, but they're showing there might be like two positions that open up at your job, that there might be one that's extended to you that gives you more responsibility. It feels like a little bit of promotion. I think that could happen in the next 4 months, actually, but they're kind of saying that, that you're kind of underwhelming yourself by not standing up more, not being a little more showy, I would say, and to own it more and to believe you deserve more, because I think you're good at helping others in that sense. I think you're good at helping those around you, but I think you need to remind yourself that you need to be in the spotlight too to help yourself in a sense, right? And so there's a question here too. Did you want to go into nursing but didn't go into nursing? Was there a question? Because I feel like you should have gone in that direction but didn't go in that direction. Did you have a career change or career choice?
I'm a medical assistant and I went into nursing school, but my ex-husband at the time was not helping me.
Gotcha. So because they're saying to go back in to that, or go back in that space of hands-on with people and really helping people that way. So whether it be just actual nursing at all, but they're saying eventually you'll get back into that, to do that directly. Because I feel like you're good at working with people directly, or good at working people with hands-on, that you need to remember that. That's your talent, right? So I do feel changes in that sense. Whether that will be that you do something in nature of like a traveling nurse. I know this might sound weird now, but I'm looking 2 years down the road, because you're going to grow. You might do something where you might be a traveling nurse. You get to kind of do things and bounce around. So they're saying don't forget about that essence. And they keep showing you hands-on with people, working with people directly, because you have that ability to do so. It's more that nurturing energy that you need to remember that you have, and be proud of that. And see, the star card doesn't come for people who are not star card comes from people who need to embrace their talents, and they're saying that you need to do that right now. So I think there's a great evolution with the work that you're doing. I feel like there's going to be financially some sort of assistance to help you expand your career too. I don't know if someone said, hey, look, there's a program for you that can help to fund this schooling for you or whatever. I think you're going to have support that you didn't have, that you will actually have to expand your work and career, or any type of education or training that you need. I feel like expansion would work greatly.
I have one question.
What's that?
I said I have a question real quick.
Yes, and that's what we love.
Small business.
You have a what?
A small business.
Yes. Well, I mean, I think looking at the small business aspect, I think your business is going to be a service. So I think that's what's involved too. It's fine for now, the business that you have now, which is unrelated. I really feel like your traveling nursing energy in the next few years will be something that's going to be that's going to be your business. And caretaking business, you're going to turn that into something great. You know, I hate to say this because I see people who start their own cleaning services and they make bank, right? It's like, you're going to start your like nursing services or something of that nature. You're going to find a way to capitalize on this, you know? So small business you have now, I think it's more, you're going to refine everything where it becomes that like I said, this traveling nurse, or even where you connect people with some sort of servicing with nurses. It feels very progressive to me. And I think you're going to be surprised when you have this realization that you're going to do it in that fashion. So there's a lot of success in that. So I think right now the small business you have now is just you kind of, what we need to understand about life is we do things sometimes to teach us about things. You're learning how to have your own business. You're learning what it's like to do your own thing. That's preparing you for when you start your own service. So yeah, I think that's you're on the right track. You're on the right track. Just don't forget yourself of who you are right now. Are you kind of in a relationship or not in a relationship? Because I feel like there's someone from the past that still lingers energetically. That could just be emotionally. But there's like kind of someone is around that not around. Like what's this halvesy energy I'm getting with your relationships?
It's my son's father came into my life after like 15 years for like 5 months.
It's confusing you.
He didn't choose me.
Well, I'm saying, I know, but it's confused you a lot too, though. I think it's put you in a very confusing state because I think that's also preventing you from finding the right relationships in your life because of that confusion. So, very simplistically, and then we said this with another read, you really have to like let that go, right? And really let go of, I know, but you do this by understand that what you deserve, my love, and what you're worth. That's how you let it go. You understand? I don't deserve that treatment. I'm not someone who can be coming whenever they need to be coming in and taken advantage of. Like, I deserve someone consistent. And just elevating your intellect on it will let you let it go quickly. And just seeing how inconsistent they are, and I also feel like there might be a move coming too next year. So there might be a nice move. It doesn't feel like a major move, but you might find a newer home, newer residence, a better space, I feel like. So that also might come too. Also the love for the home life too also might be connected to that as well. So I think there's gonna be a lot of good changes next year, actually, for you in that regard. So getting rid of that love energy of the past, that confusing energy, that in and out energy that I keep feeling. You're just like, I'm done. That's the final chapter for me emotionally, and allowing yourself to open up. And so you're no longer dabbling anymore. Someone new comes in and you could experience that. Not that I feel like a brand new relationship manifests in 2025, but I feel like the beginnings of seeing better partnerships and availability around you will start being prevalent to you. Meeting great people. I feel like you'll be connected with more creative people and artistic people. People who think out of the box. So you might meet an Aquarius energy. Okay. You need some more aqua in your life. I feel like you need more Aquarians in your life. So I feel like you might meet an Aquarius or Aquarius people that way too, that will kind of get you feel like a sense of community and get rid of that past energy. And again, this is my home life card. So either it's a new home or you completely change the aspect of home. All that just feels very new for me next year too. So I think it's a really good year for you of movement next year, just like really shedding that past, So any specific questions before we close? I think you're actually on the right track. I just wish you would own you more, I wish you would own what you can do more and really like be more confident with it, like embracing who you are and what you do on the very simplistic level. Like I want you to really be focusing on doing that.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, yes, it makes sense. I have one last question.
Yeah, sure.
I have a lot of things come up, like lucid dreams, like dreams that came true, and a lot of stuff, weird stuff, but good stuff. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, it's just like I lost it.
Well, you didn't lose it because
figure it out.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like a sense, like you don't lose your eyesight, but sometimes you don't see things correctly, right? Doesn't mean, so for me, it's just showing you're not expressing. This is the star card energy we said before, embracing yourself. When you let other people's energy confuse you and distort you, you won't be so perceptive of that any longer, right? That's what we're saying, to get back into your rhythm, get back into your energy. You'll get that back because you have empathy. You're an empath, basically. So that energy is always there. You can read energy. You can read people's energy very well. So you don't sense that lucid dreaming anymore because your focus is contaminated by that ex relationship, that lingering energy. It's just contaminated your sense of value. So that's why you're not perceiving that. I always say when people want to enhance their intuition, go dive deep and do that self-discovery. Go back into self-love. Your intuition will be a bam. You'll see everything. So that's why you kind of lost it. That X energy's confused the fuck out of you. I hate to say that way, but it did. But it's lingering, and it's got to like clear it out. Take some Febreze, say, no, you're done, not anymore. I don't deserve to be put in a ringer this way, and just clear that out. Your intuition again will go back into be very clear again, because you're back into self mode. Okay. You got this. You'll do this. You're a strong person more than you recognize, and I want you to spend the next few months primarily giving yourself props. Really. Give yourself props and say, like, I'm good at this. I've been doing this. This is what I'm going to do. You need to start really rebuilding that self-confidence. The more comfortable you are with giving yourself credit, that's where the confidence comes in. So that's the advice they're giving to you, and really give yourself that credit, because once you become busy and you're spending a lot of time helping people and you're doing your service, and again, it could be the next few years that manifests. It could be sooner, but it could maybe take a couple years, whatever the time frame is, that you're going to need to make sure your foundation is solid, that people aren't taking advantage, people aren't running a rampage. So take the time now to prepare for that and build that foundation of self right now. Okay? You got a great heart. You really got a great heart. You're very kind, and you need to cherish that. You need to protect that kindness and that heart at all costs. Okay?
Yes,
all right, my love?
Thank you.
So pleasure to meet you. Keep me posted. I love hearing back too, and I love the path that you're on. Keep going.
Thank you.
All right, my love. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Okay, well, that concludes this Thursday Night Live. And I appreciate every single one of you guys for coming on and joining me. It's been a long one. And thank you to my wonderful mod Nina and Lafayette for creating those sound bathing portions for ourselves. So again, there will be no live show next Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. And I hope you all really kind of, go back to your roots, and if you don't have family to spend Thanksgiving with, create your own foundation, again. Some people spend Thanksgiving or holidays alone, but that's okay. Like, find the warmth into that nurturing point. Don't resist what life is trying to teach you. If life is telling you need to be alone right now, embrace it. Say, okay, well, what's in this alone energy? Maybe I'm missing the happiness in this alone energy. So many people are like, I'm alone. They want to strive for outside energy instead of just embracing, all right, life is telling me to be alone right now. See things from a spiritual point of view and say, maybe there's something in this alone energy that I've been missing that is the happiness I'm looking for, and you'll find it. So I appreciate every single one of you guys. And if you want to book a personal one-on-one reading with me, scottcruzpm.com. The link is also in the description. I do life readings, which covers an array of topics: past life regressions, trauma processing and healing, job, career advice, career inspiration. I've channeled business ideas for my clients, relationship advice, issues, again, healing karmic path. It just goes on and on. The description's on my website, as well as mediumship sessions if you want to connect with someone who's crossed over, as well as my intuition builder session if you want to tap into your own intuitive abilities, especially with Elizabeth. She was talking about her lucid dreaming. In a session, we would go deeper into like how to really expand the abilities, what the awareness is, and if you want to really get a hold of that, that's the intuition builder session too. If not, catch me not next Thursday, but the Thursday after that, and we'll be back with LOL on that Thursday as well. I hope everyone you guys have a wonderful evening. I love every single one of you guys, and remember, you are all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? Much love, and we'll see you in a few weeks, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Much love.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit, bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to scottcruzpm.com to book your own personal session today.